Rough Edge FM. Irritatingly irresistible internet radio at roughedgefm.com.
From the land of lemons, magic, and neighbors who still wave, it's Voices of the Valley. Join hosts Jim and John as they shine a spotlight on local businesses, city council news, community events, and all the colorful characters that make the Santa Clara River Valley feel like home. From Santa Paula to Fillmore and Peru, this is your hometown podcast, Voices of the Valley.
So do you think people recognize the fact that those pictures of you and me at the very beginning were like from
years ago,
20 years ago?
Yeah.
Is it that noticeable? Yeah.
We look better now. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
We're much more mature, a little more, you know how older guys get.
Look at the whole Santa Claus thing going.
I know. Yeah. I think you'd shave it after your job on the 25th.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, but I don't know. I got
Julie
used to
liked
it. No. She prefers goatee.
Ah.
But I said I was starting to look too much like you, so I had to shave it. So we're going to do a little special edition today.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about what took place at the Santa Paula Council meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Before we do, I had a very interesting conversation with my son because he and I struggle with the same thing.
Okay.
We always want to make people happy.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the problem with that is that, so I think one of the things that I learned in being a manager or a boss was with logo software.
Okay.
I was so concerned about making sure that everybody was happy, that everybody liked me, and blah, 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 blah. That, an employee would come in and they're like, hey, I thought, I don't think this is going to work with the support. And I think we really need to take a look at this and maybe do this and that. And I'm kind of against going down this road. And I'd be like, okay, well, let's take a look and we can see and blah, 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 and whatever, and go ahead and move forward or do whatever you're going to do. And then somebody else would come in and they would have an opposite opinion. And I would kind of give them the opinion that I was in favor with them as well. And then the two employees would come together and they're talking and they're going, well, wait a minute, Jim said this. And well, he told me this, or well, he led me to believe this. And it ends up kind of creating a bit of a hornet's nest.
Yes.
So if you remember a little while back, the House of Magic, our nonprofit, went before council.
Yeah.
And wanted to receive a letter that essentially endorsed the Project Heart, solely for the purpose of being able to say that, hey, the city is behind this. They think it's a great idea for the city, not to, get any funding from the city, not to say that, that they've vetted the project or any of that kind of stuff, but just saying that, based on this project, we think it would be a good, viable option for the city.
Supporting the idea.
Yeah, supporting the idea.
Yeah.
And, the drama that went along with that took place over an hour, which that council meeting should have been, that part of the council meeting should have been over and done within 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it went like an hour and 15 minutes.
I remember that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to a point where you're going, okay, first of all, it didn't have to get that ugly. And so I started thinking, and so my son Jacob has the same issue that I have. And I said, what I've learned from this and from the previous council meeting is that you can say no, or you can show reservations, but you can do it with kindness.
Yes.
So the feeling that I had when I went through that with the council was that I had some nefarious reason for doing this and that I was being deceiving or deceitful in the way that I was going about trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just simply saying, hey, I'm trying to bring this project to the city. I think it would be of value, and show me a little love.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I was almost ready to just say, screw it. I don't want your letter. I don't need your letter. I'll do it without you.
Because of the round of questioning.
Yes, because of the way the questioning was.
Yes.
So a similar thing just happened last council meeting.
Yep.
But this group did what I wanted to do, but didn't have necessarily the courage to do it. And that was to say, yeah, this isn't the kind of relationship or love that we were expecting from the city. We withdraw. And they left.
Yes.
And so when I was talking with Jake, because Jake's running into a similar situation, he's like, sometimes you got to say no. And I said, had they, in both situations, my situation and in this other situation, had they said, hey, listen, we think this is a great idea. We really think this would be of value to the city. There's just some questions that we have. We have some concerns about whether or not what kind of precedence is this going to set for other businesses who are coming into the city, blah, 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 blah.
Just to find it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so you're looking at it and go, okay, that's reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand. And, here's what my opinion is of it. I don't think it's, it's not like you're claiming that you vetted me, or it's not like you're validating the fact that our organization is viable or can sustain this or anything else.
Because you're already in the city. And
yeah.
You do stuff and they know the work you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we could understand the reservations.
Yeah.
The problem is their approach was that you're being deceitful, or you're trying to deceive, or there's some other nefarious reason. Like, for example, one of the things they said was, well, you're going to use this collect money. Well, obviously,
yeah,
I'm using it for fundraising. Otherwise, why do I need the stupid letter?
And everybody does that.
Right.
They had endorsements for grants. I mean, nonprofits always do that. They get as many organizations together that support it with letters, and then it's done in everything.
Yeah. So what I explained to Jake is, I said, you can, what I wish I had done with my employee is you can still treat them with compassion and kindness and still say no.
Yeah. And
you don't have to be an asshole about it.
And explain your reason why.
Yeah.
And then explain the other side of it, and then see how you can kind of find a middle ground there where they're not upset, but they understand where you're coming from, and then maybe, look at the other way of it, something.
So let's talk a little bit about what went down.
Okay.
So the organization was RAC.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what that stands for?
No.
It has something to do with energy.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's all I remember.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't do my research. But so it's a nonprofit organization that was formed to help educate people on energy, all types of energy.
Yeah.
And they were looking at the oil museum and all of the artifacts that it had as being something that would be educational and, informative, and it's got value. And so they wanted to rent space from the oil museum.
Correct.
And they were willing to catalog all of the property that belongs to the city at their expense in exchange for being able, to rent the building.
Correct.
So it wasn't a question of, look, we want to do this and we want you to pay us X number of dollars. They were willing to rent the facility. They were willing to pay for the cost of cataloging. And they would also set it up to where maybe universities or colleges or whatever could come in and they could research projects, whatnot. Maybe they could loan stuff out, still belonging to the city.
Yeah.
So the city, the council, some members of the council I will say that Leslie was 100% on board with this,
Mhm.
but the other members of the council had reservations about the terms of the contract and all of this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But this organization is coming before them excited about the project, like we were about ours, excited about the project.
Mhm.
And instead of feeling like the city was grateful and had interest
Mhm.
in pursuing this relationship and thinking that, we got some reservations, but we think the relationship will be of value to the city, they made the organization feel like something wasn't right.
Yeah.
Somebody was up to something.
Digging into something that wasn't there.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah. And so ultimately the organization was like, wow, this is taking a turn just like mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go in there and going like, hey, this gonna do this, so what, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden within 10 minutes you're going, what the F?
Yeah. I mean, you look at it, it's like, if you're a community, people come in with ideas, you need to listen to them and you need to see how you can make it happen. Not right away you're in the line of fire and then you just start throwing darts at you basically or whatever, and you have to dodge them and then hopefully you survive.
Right.
And then at that point, it's still not even a guarantee.
Right.
So we need to be better about being more welcome to ideas. I get it. People will come up with all kinds of different ideas, but staff could vet those out. But when it comes before council, staff's done their job. They've done the background work, and they're bringing something that they believe it could work here. And that's what's been going on with this whole project for how many years now? 2 years, whatever.
A couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, and it was presented as everybody kind of felt comfortable to this, and then it gets picked apart. And
right.
It really didn't need to get picked apart the way it did. There was some simple language that needed to be changed. Staff felt comfortable with it. Were all parties happy? No, because there's still ongoing negotiations as you go through it, because it's going to change as they get in there and start doing things. They're going to find things they need to adjust to the contracts or whatever. That's going to happen in anything you do, but they needed a starting point, and the staff brought to them, here's our starting point. We can get them in there. Let's get it going. And then we can always go back and talk and change things. And that was brought up. That was actually presented. And the impression I got from council was like, all of a sudden they're just like, whoa, wait a minute here, that there's something shifty going on or something funny going on, and we need to dig into this. And it's like, that wasn't the case, and I get it. They're trying to do the due diligence for the public and everything, but I just thought it was just a really bad look for the city and how this was approached. It didn't need to go that way, but hopefully they can work it out. But yeah, it's discouraging when you see that and you have someone that's excited, that's coming in with ideas such as what you did, and you leave there feeling like you're not wanted in that community.
Right.
And it's just like, well, you put all your hard work and time, and they know the thing is, they know the organization. They knew you, they knew this organization, they felt comfortable with it, and that both parties walk out feeling like they're not wanted here, and that's not right. Council shouldn't do that. You ask a line of questions that are, you want to know why, you want to do this vetting. It's to a point, but you don't start doing those kind of line of questioning and just make them feel like they're not wanted by the community. That's not right. It isn't.
Right.
I was really disappointed in the council in the line of questioning. I give Leslie a lot of credit. She actually had gone through, she was on the ad hoc, she was going through all that stuff, so she understood it, and she was, she voted no and to move on with the project because she knew, or the vote to bring it back, because she was just like, it's done. It's just language. We just need to check and move on. But the other three council members just didn't do it, and so.
And I think, unfortunately, Carlos had to sustain from the vote.
Got to make sure that was stated, because he wasn't part of that, because he's part of the historical society.
Yeah, and he also lives within a certain distance.
Property within a certain distance.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's unfortunate how that played out, and it shouldn't have played out that way. I thought staff worked really hard to get it to where it needed to be, and they worked hard over the last couple of years to do it, and it just. And I don't know why it went that way. Where council members not fully informed? Were they missing a component? Who knows what it is? But,
Right.
I was really disappointed. It was a bad look for the community. It was really, or for the city, with that happening. So,
And I got to hand kudos to the organization, because it takes a lot of courage to, obviously they spent a considerable amount of time to get to where they are.
a lot of time. Yeah.
They had probably assumed, like many, that okay, this is a done deal. We just got to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Just little
And-
simple language.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And get excited about this is gonna be so great. We're gonna be in this historical building, and
And they brought in some good people that had a knowledge of how to chronologue it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? That knew how to do that process, and local people that are passionate about that, that care about the communities, and did their homework, brought everybody in. But yeah, it was just
yeah, they had a number of people that came up in support of it.
yeah. And these people, a lot of these people were part of the Old Oil Museum Foundation. So, and I get that they still want, you still want to kind of maintain a little bit of aspect of the oil in this community. And
Right.
that's where the history comes in, preserving that history, because that's how this community was founded, of oil and agriculture, So you don't want to dismiss it, but you need to save that, but society today, they're trying to wipe out all the past. It's like, no, we can't. That's part of who we are as a community.
So you said something at the very beginning, and I had forgotten it, but then it just came to me because I have sleep apnea thing, or I'm doing that CPAP now, so my memory comes back, which is cool.
You should be better with that.
I am,
Okay.
because it came back. So you said
Not
something.
fast enough.
I know. It still came back.
Turn up
I'm
the
just-
oxygen. Okay?
I'm just impressed that I
Yeah.
remembered it, because I'm going, crap, I forgot.
Turn up the dial a little bit.
Yeah.
More oxygen in that brain.
But now I'm gonna forget it again.
Okay.
'Cause- okay.
I'm testing you right now. Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, what's the guy's name who is the head of the building inspection, safety, and all that? He works under James
For the city or contract.
for the city. He's like the head inspector.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. I don't remember his name.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Dan? No.
No.
I've
Yeah. I know.
I'll remember.
Okay.
And no, I won't. Anyways, when we did a filming for the city and the permitting and everything else like that,
You filmed him, right?
yes,
You don't remember his name.
I forgot.
Oh my god.
So when we did that,
Uh-huh.
one of the things that he said, and one of the things that he said about the city and its mentality, is that when somebody asks to do something, it's not no, it's yes, and how do we get there?
It's Dan.
Is that Dan
Dan Schultz.
Schultz? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is Dan.
Yes,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kicked in when you told me
Okay.
that phrase. It's like, wait a minute, I knew that. Is,
Okay. Yeah, so Dan had said that our philosophy is yes, and then how do we make it happen? How do we get there? So this meeting was the total opposite of that. This was like a no, and you're gonna have to figure out and jump through hoops, and it wasn't really a no, but the
Perception of it.
presentation
Yes.
and the perception was no.
Yeah, because you look at city staff to get to that point, to bring it to council, they figured out a way how to say yes and move it forward.
Yes.
So they did what they had to do based on what they believe in. And then, but you're right, it got to that level and it flipped. And you even see to me, city staff was scrambling to try and figure out, well, how do we maneuver through this? So
Right.
I don't know where the disconnect was. I mean, something happened between that portion of it, and it should have happened, but I don't know if they're going to be able to work it out. It's just going to be
Yeah, and if they come back, I mean, can you imagine the awkwardness of having to stand up before them and going, "You guys railroaded us, and now we're here again. So do it one more time."
Well, if it was me, I'd change the demands of what I want too. Gives me, I'm in the driver's seat a little bit. If I'm the only one coming back to the table,
Yeah.
be like, okay, well, let's talk about this contract, and let's, the terms might change, and it gives the other two parties there an opportunity to change their terms now.
Right.
Because what if they want to go back and change their contract? Are they going to get the same treatment? So there's a lot of different things that can transpire here
Right.
from what happened. I think that opened up a whole can of worms, because I mean, if I'm one of the parties there, I'd look at it and be like, okay, well, am I going to get up in front of that group and get just drilled on everything because I want to make a change to this or that, even though, whatever, whether it's Leap Lab or Historical Society or one of them that's in there. What happens when they want to change terms? After watching this, it's just like, maybe hesitant to do this.
Right.
That building's been empty so long, you would think that we'd bend over backwards to help figure out a way how to get everybody in there. Are they all going to be happy? No, they're not all going to be happy. Somebody's always going to have an issue because things change constantly.
Yeah, and that's one of the woes of having a multi-tenant building.
Yeah, and that's what they decided, though. They ultimately decided that's who they want in there. Council did. So now that they're in there, staff has to figure out how to make them all coexist, and they did. And this is what happens.
Right.
So if that's the case, why have three in there?
Yeah, Julie and I, when they first started with the Oil Museum and they were looking for, ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were originally thinking of let's, pitch what we now call Project Heart for the Oil Museum and turn it into, this cultural arts center that people can come in and they can, hands-on and, all that kind of stuff. And, but after sitting and listening to that and realizing the politics and everything else, it was like, yeah, we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. And you wonder if anybody would come in and do that now.
Yeah.
People watch those two meetings and just like, do we really want to put ourselves in that position?
Right.
And it's too bad. I mean, there's other cities that are doing everything they can to bring people in and make things happen. And it's discouraging to see your own hometown that's kind of just putting these roadblock after roadblock up.
Which is fairly new.
Yeah, this has only happened over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But before, everything was rolling, and then it just came to a point where everything just kind of flipped. And it's just been it's tough now.
Yeah.
It's, I'm being critical of the council. I think they just need to reevaluate how they do things, how they handle things like this.
Mm-hmm.
You can be critical, you can question, like you had said, all that stuff, but watch what's going on. I mean, that organization gave them that warning as he got up there and said that he didn't like where it was going, and they had an opportunity to pull that back. They didn't. They pressed on. They put the gas to the pedal, and it got even more interesting. And it didn't have to be that way. You could have pulled it back and said, okay, let's rethink this. Let's kind of settle down and let's kind of figure this out. What was it going to hurt to do to bring it back in a month or 2 months from where it is now, instead of saying we need it back in 2 weeks? Well, it can't be done to bring back everybody to the table. So let's be realistic.
But at the same time, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, but you got to show the love.
Exactly. It's like, hey, we want this to happen. We need a little bit more time. So is it possible for all of the parties to come back in 2 months and let's keep doing what you're doing, but let's bring it back and let's renegotiate and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Right.
Don't demand it, that to do that, because it's unfair to the other two parties too.
Yeah. And then bringing up Leap Lab and saying, so what's your opinion?
Yeah.
Opinion of this, or what are your concerns? And them going, I'm not prepared to answer that question.
It's unfair to do that. And if they did that to the Historical Society, they wouldn't have had an answer either.
Right.
So it's like, council's got to think about that when they ask these questions, because it's just not, it doesn't make sense. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, I've even said, you can't do that, from what I've learned, but you can't ask you can't put that out there to staff to do that, and it's just, so I don't know. Council's just, our council's gotten a little different over the last couple of years, and it needs to be. I don't know what the answer is to it, but whether
Well, the first thing as far as being critical of the council is elected and hired by the people.
yes,
So they're exposed to criticism because it's the nature of the job. You pick that job.
Yeah.
And the people deserve the right to be able to be critical of things that they feel like you did wrong.
Yeah.
And
just so I'm clear, it's not all council. Okay.
No.
It's just as a whole, the council didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
Overall, but I'm not critical of each council member.
Right.
So
yeah. No, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And even other council members that might have been favorable in this regard, they might do something that's somewhere else where you're going like, what on earth were you thinking?
We all do that.
Yeah.
We all have our moments where I've been criticized up and down when I was in my role with the chamber.
Right.
People always criticize me, and do I do everything right? No. We do the best we can, but there's times I understand. Okay, maybe I need to take a different approach. Maybe I need to do something to keep the project moving forward, keep everything moving forward.
So here's where I have an issue.
Okay.
It is okay to be critical.
Yeah.
But being critical doesn't have to be delivered with hate or anger or disdain.
Yeah.
You can be critical of something and still have compassion.
Yes.
And you can still be a decent human being about it. And unfortunately, we are in a society where people have lost that. Yeah. It's like, John, that decision you made, I don't think was really the best decision or was in your favor. I'm not sure what you were thinking about, but yeah, don't do that again.
Yeah. And that's fair.
May
not like it, but it's fair.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be delivered with hate.
No.
Like, what? You're a stupid moron. What the heck were you thinking? I can't believe how dumb of a decision that was. And,
it shows a lack of respect.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of respect, I have
You were waiting on a guest, were you not?
Yes.
He's not here yet.
He's not here yet.
No.
Well,
I'm wondering if you had an idea as to when he would be coming, or if he knows.
30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
30 minutes ago. Cool. So does he know where we are? Or
Yes,
where
he does.
Supposed to be going.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Oh, good.
So he just recently had surgery. So I'm suspecting that maybe perhaps.
Or reschedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
totally understand. Excuse.
I do want to do this though, be in honor of him, because we kind of took on his role, and so I think it. Wow!
Wow! Our producer just threw the light at us. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Wow!
Talking about
holy smokes!
Talking about feeling love and compassion. I mean,
wow! That bottle almost hit you too.
Yeah, he comes storming in here and knocking things over, and jeez.
I'm making myself known. Okay.
Calm down, boy. Talking about coming with an attitude.
You do know
and
this
pick up
place
the
is haunted, right?
Huh?
You do know this place is haunted, right?
Yeah, no,
it
the
might
place
not have been me. It might have been the ghosts.
Yeah, it's not a haunted. It's called MS.
Yeah.
On the bar thing. Yeah.
Interesting. Just as he walked out, it fell. So I don't know if it's a ghost.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
All right. So this is an honor.
Out loud. Not all views expressed by Tim are those of this podcast, but they probably should be.
Did that go through?
I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it too,
Okay,
but it didn't sound like it was.
That's okay. We'll bring him back, and we can continue that discussion.
Yeah,
on that, because I'm sure he's got some observations.
So our views are not necessarily the views of this podcast.
No,
but they probably should be.
Oh yeah. So
how does that work?
I don't know.
It is our podcast.
Yeah. Who's the parent company?
I don't know.
That's what when it's the parent company.
Oh yeah.
Say that.
Not all these views are the views of the House of Magic Foundation for the Arts.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Overall, I think we just got to do a better job, get better at how things are presented, how things are received, and how things, when people ask you for things about just listen and let's figure out, like you said, how to find yes, how to get it to yes, not right away put that wall up.
Right.
And
if you are going to deliver the news, if you are, opposed to something, you're going to deliver it. deliver it, like you said, with respect
Yeah.
and kindness,
Mhm.
and move on.
Like I said, there was nothing wrong with pausing it and just asking politely to what are the options of bringing it back and how.
Yeah.
Not demanding that it comes back within a couple weeks and realistically knowing that it's not going to happen,
Right.
but asking the question to staff, hey, how can we do this and bring it back?
And
So,
with that,
Yeah.
we've hit our 30-minute mark.
okay.
But with that, I do want to say I highly respect this organization for standing up and saying we withdraw, because this is not the relationship that we were expecting or would want
That a
with the
shot?
city.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not withdraw or pause or end the show because I can't hit the damn button.
I was saying, did you end it or what? So
That would have been so beautiful
yeah.
as an ending. It's like, that is not the relationship we
take two?
want this. Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. All right. So I do say that I truly respect the organization for being able to stand up and say that this is not the relationship or what we expected from the city, so we withdraw. I think that took a lot of courage, and kudos to them. With that, see you next week.
This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.